You were tweeting like last week, the CPI is another government lie. And just now you referenced the changes they made in 1998. So my question for you is, what changed and why now should we not trust this number?
Well, the government always makes changes to their methods of measuring things, whether it's GDP or inflation or unemployment. And they always tweak the numbers to produce a better result as a report card. It's like, if the students were allowed to kind of change the way they were graded, like the methodology for coming up with their grades, would it surprise anybody that all of a sudden they started getting more A's and B's and fewer, C's and D's, right? The government always wants to make the good stuff better, like economic growth, and the bad stuff worse, like unemployment or inflation, right? So they want to find ways to make those numbers little and the good numbers big. So they made a lot of changes in 98. I mean, very substantial ones, because they were taking into consideration the recommendations of the Boston Commission, which according to the Boston Commission, the CPI was overstating inflation. So they introduced other formulas into the computation of the number to try to correct that. There's a lot of geometric weighting and substitution and hedonics. And I think this period of, oh, wow, we have low inflation. It's not a coincidence that it followed this major revision into how we, calculate it. It's interesting because the government keeps complaining there's not enough inflation. Yet they're the ones that are cooking the books to pretend that inflation is lower than it really is. Because what they're really trying to do is get the go-ahead to produce more inflation, which is printing money. The CPI will never reveal the true extent of these price increases. There's only so much they can shrink the packaging. A lot of the inflation comes because they just give you less, or they substitute lower quality ingredients, or stuff that used to come assembled. Now you got to assemble it yourself. I mean, they find different ways to lower the quality and not increase the price. And I'm sure the government's not picking up on any of that. If the quality improves, they calculate that, but they probably ignore all the circumstances where the quality is diminished.